University of Michigan music theory professor Patricia Hall unearthed manuscripts of music that were arranged and performed by prisoners of Auschwitz while she was conducting research in Poland. She took the manuscript for the foxtrot she found titled "The Most Beautiful Time of Life" and gave it a voice by having a U of M ensemble play and record it. Here's the story.
I've been working in archives researching musical manuscripts for about 40 years, and I heard that there were musical manuscripts in the Auschwitz-Birkenau State Museum. So naturally I was very curious what they might be like. It had to be the extreme irony attracted me specifically to this foxtrot, Die schönste Zeit des Lebens, which is the most beautiful time of life. It's based on a song by a very popular German film composer, Franz Grota. It has a text, and it's about falling in love in the month of May.
In Auschwitz-Birkenau, the purpose of the orchestras was actually to bring the workers back into camp and have them leave. So they played mostly in the morning and the evening. Musically, the best music to get people to walk are marches.
Another function of the Auschwitz Orchestra was to play a concert in front of the Commandant's villa, in front of Hüsse's villa on Sunday. And this was for the SS personnel. It was about a 3-hour concert that was broken up into stages, and at one point they had a dance band so that soldiers could dance. Given the instrumentation of this foxtrot, I think that's probably what it was used for. It's for 14 players, so it's scaled down, 9 violins, a viola, a trombone, 2 clarinets, and a tuba. I contacted Oriol Sans with the Contemporary Directions Ensemble, and he was immediately very enthusiastic about the idea not only of presenting it in a concert, but also of the process of recording it.
And it's really wonderful that at a place like University of Michigan, we have the capacity to do something like this, to not only find the performers, but also be able to go into a recording studio and have a recording that will be used by the archives at Auschwitz-Birkenau.
This recording is really highly significant. We're bringing this thing to life. We're hearing exactly, well, as close as possible, how it sounded in Auschwitz I in 1943. This foxtrot, Die schönste Zeit des Lebens, it's written out by hand by 3 different prisoners. 2 of them sign their prisoner numbers at the end, so you can research exactly who these men were. And they have very small numbers, like 5665 or 5131, and that's because they were Polish political prisoners who were arrested and brought to Auschwitz I, the main camp, very early. And one of those who was a copyist is Antony Gargul. His number is 5665, and he was a violist, but he was also a Polish soldier. 5131 is Maximilian Pivat. He was a professional musician, and he had a conservatory degree, and he was a bassoonist. The third arranger, who has a very different handwriting that I've become quite attached to, I must say, we're not sure who he is. I've been trying to research possible prisoners and trying to get a sampling of their handwriting. So I've been working with Joshua de Vries. What he's been doing is taking these scans of the musical manuscripts and transcribing them into printed notation.
As a music theorist, there have been some interesting moments in creating this foxtrot. There were some wrong notes that had come up in the originals. I think that's because there wasn't an original score, that the copyists were just creating parts. And when you can't visualize something or see something completely vertically, often wrong notes in the harmonies are going to happen. So it was one of my jobs to go through and try and figure out what some of the right notes were. The way that the music modulated to different keys that brought in new verses and new choruses, it was the transitions that were really interesting. The verses and the choruses in these songs, everyone knew, but the two-measure bits in between them allowed them to bring in just a little bit of their own touch at times. Thinking back, I would think that that kind of gave them a little bit of escape and let them kind of remember their time before the camp, because these were truly wonderful and talented musicians whose lives or careers were often cut short or at least delayed by their time in these camps.